Good morning children. I welcome you all to the next video of class 11th business studies. We have started with the second chapter, that is forms of business organization, and this is the ninth part of this chapter, and we are going to conclude the chapter in this video. We have been discussing about the important documents used in the formation of the company, and I have already told you that there are three important documents in that. One is Memorandum of Association, second is Article of Associations, and then Prospectus. We have already talked about Memorandum of Association and the contents regarding it. Today we are going to start with Articles of Association. So, what is Articles of Association? It is also known by the name AOA. Okay, in that Articles of Association contains rules and regulations regarding the management of a company's internal affairs. Then it defines the power, duties and rights of managers, officers and the board of directors. Generally, all the companies prepare their own articles of association. In case the companies do not want to prepare their own articles of association, then they can select any one article of association given in table F of the Companies Act. In table F of the Companies Act 99, model or set of articles of association are given, and companies can select any one from these 99 sets. The articles of association must be signed by all the directors of the company. It must be duly attested by any two witnesses, and articles of association is also known as bylaws of the company, or it is also known as the doctrine of indoor management. The contents of articles are divided into paragraphs, and paragraphs are numbered. The main contents of articles of association are, the contents in itself include the amount of share capital and different classes of shares. Second, right of each type of shareholder. Third, procedure for making allotment of shares. Fourth, procedure for issuing share certificates. Fifth, procedure for transfer of shares. Then sixth, procedure for forfeiture of shares. Then seventh, procedure for reissue of forfeited shares. Eighth, procedure for conducting meetings. Then ninth, procedure for appointment and removal of directors. Then 10th, duties, powers and remunerations of directors. Then 11th, procedure for declaration and payment of dividend. Then 12th, procedure regarding winding up of the company. Then 13th, procedure regarding keeping of books of accounts and their audit also. Then 14th, seal of the company. Now, article means the articles of association of the company as originally framed or as altered from time to time or applied in pursuance of any previous company law or of this act. Alteration of articles of association: a company may change its articles of association by passing a special resolution subject to the following conditions. So, what are these conditions? First of all, the alteration must not be contrary or against the provisions of Memorandum of Association and Companies Act. It must not result in breach of contract with outsiders. It must be in the interest of the company. Then it must not result in increasing the liability of its members. Then if the alteration involves conversion of public company into private company, then the approval of the central government must be obtained. So these are the alteration of articles of association. Okay. Now we move ahead to prospectus. So what is prospectus? A public limited company limited by shares must issue the prospectus if it wants to make an appeal to the public to subscribe to its shares or debentures. According to Companies Act 1956, a prospectus is any document including any notice, circular, advertisement or that invites deposits or offers from public for the subscription or purchase of any shares or debentures of the body corporate. In general, we can say prospectus includes any documents which invites general public to invest their money in the securities of the company. The essential elements of prospectus are there must be an invitation to the public at large. The invitation must be made by or on behalf of the company, and the invitation must be to subscribe to or purchase its shares or debentures. Okay. Now we move ahead to the next topic, that is choice of form of business enterprises. So we can say that there are different types of business organization, each having its own feature, merits and demerits also. So on comparison of these features, merits and demerits, it is difficult to say that which is the best one form of business. So each form is suitable for different business ventures. The selection of suitable form of business is generally made keeping in mind the following factors. These are the factors. First is nature of business. So the type of business activities is the most important factor for selecting the form of business. If the business requires personal attention and direct contact, sole proprietorship and partnership is preferred. The firm involving rendering services prefer cooperative organization. Firms requiring heavy investment prefer company form of business. For example, tailoring shop, beauty parlors prefer sole proprietor due to demand of personal attention, and professionals like CA, lawyers, etc. prefer partnership. Departmental stores, basic industries prefer company form. So, on the nature of the business, it can be defined that what should be the form of business organization. Okay. Then second, we move ahead to capital consideration. Another important factor that helps in deciding the form of business is amount of finance required. Business requiring less amount of finance prefer sole proprietor and partnership, whereas business activities require huge financial resources prefer company form of business. Then degree of control. If the businessman desires complete and independent control, then he has to prefer sole proprietor. If the businessman don't mind sharing the control, then he can go for partnership or company form of business. Then next is legal formalities. If businessman wants to avoid legal formalities and prefer easy formation, then sole proprietorship and partnership is suitable. But there are many legal formalities involved in company form and cooperative form of business organization. Then comes the liability. Another important factor which helps in selecting the form of business is the degree of risk involved. For high risk of venture, people prefer company form of business or cooperative organization because liability of members is limited. Because of unlimited liability, people avoid sole proprietorship and partnership form of business. These forms are suitable for less risky ventures. Then next is management ability. The business ventures requiring efficient management have to select company form of business. As for efficient management, professional experts have to be hired and they charge big salary and only company form can afford it. Okay. Then next is flexibility of operations. The business which require high degree of flexibility should prefer sole proprietorship or partnership. Whereas making changes and taking decisions takes a long time in company form of business. Then continuity. In this, temporary business should prefer sole proprietorship and partnership form of business as they are easy to form and dissolve also. But enterprises set up for long run and of permanent nature should prefer company form of business so that they can arrange large funds and expand and grow. So basically these are the points through which choices of forms of business enterprises can take place. So you are going to prepare the notes regarding all these things. Okay. And in the next video, we are going to move ahead with the third chapter. Up till then, you take care and goodbye, children.